Hey, boys and girls, and everybody else. Welcome to the Shead Show. I'm your host, Ryan, and this is my co host, Ian. Brother, how are you doing this week?
Lost in space, bro. Lost in space. That's what I'm at. I got all
Oh,
types of devices, and not one of them works. I'm lost in space.
dude, this has been an ongoing adventure trying to find a setup that works on your end. I know we're going to get it eventually. Eventually.
My kid will be in college, so that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
And we'll have spent as much money to
One
put
hundred percent.
him through college. Yeah, exactly.
100%. Time and money. You
Oh
look
my
good, man.
gosh.
Everything.
Hey, Cowgirl, what's going on? Joining us on Twitter. Yeah, no, dude, I'm doing pretty good. I think it's safe to say most of us are having a much better day than Donald Trump and the Republican Party, but mainly Donald Trump, which makes me
L's, L's, L's,
taking him to the
L's.
face, taking him to the face, and I love it, and I freaking love it.
I literally am just looking at some of my conservative friends, and I'm just like, you mad, boy. You just mad. Just look at what's
Eh,
happening right now.
wouldn't you
Ugh.
be?
I mean, well, they're in denial. They're like, well, they'll get a change in the appeals. I'm like, how did that DC appeal go for you? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So this is situation here in New York can't run his business for the next 3 years.
Hey, don't you giving up my stuff?
Oh! Let me back up.
Yeah,
Let me
back
back.
up, back up.
What's the name of the game, Ryan? What's the name of the game?
No, but I did want to start the show. Yeah, it's the We Don't Know show.
Y'all don't know show.
There we go.
It's the no show.
Yeah,
The
it's
no.
the No show.
That's where we're at.
But no, I kind of flip into a more serious note. Um, Most of us, I think, have heard about the Kansas City shooting at this point. It just, man, I don't know about you, but I'm just tired of these shootings.
I've been
Like,
tired. I've been tired since Columbine.
well, dude, yeah, Columbine, that
That should have been the
1999,
end.
by the way, 1999
That should have been the end of it.
should have
Should have
been,
been
and then Sandy Hook. That one definitely should have been the end of it.
Sandy Hook showed me that we will never fix it. They killed kindergartners. I no longer have any faith in the system. Uh, America does not care.
Yeah, it sure seems that way. So, what I wanted to touch on though, because it something that was going around, I don't know if it was all social media, but I saw it on Twitter/X, and it was that the shooters were illegal immigrants. Of course, that came out before anybody knew anything.
They
And,
saw
and I,
Brown. They gave it a name.
bro, and it wasn't just a few. That's the unfortunate thing. So I just wanted to use our platform to say that it was two juveniles that are 17 and under that they arrested for this. They had a third person, but they let them go because it was determined that they didn't have anything to do with it.
Interesting.
So these kids can. There is precedent for the kids to be charged as adults
Yeah.
because of the type of crime it was. So I don't believe it has been announced that they're going to do that. I would assume they probably will charge them as adults. They haven't, but because they are kids and that hasn't been determined yet, they haven't released the kids' information. So we don't. All we know is that they're kids at
You know
this
what's
point.
interesting about this, Ryan, is that so you have this one that just happened, and especially at this venue, right? It's a parade.
Yeah, dude, a
The
Super Bowl parade, man.
Chiefs won again. Everybody's there. It's all kumbaya. And what is it? Someone scuffed your shoe. Someone, what was the beef? Whatever the case
Yep,
was,
a fight.
whatever the situation was. The fact that the youth is really trying to go to do forever ever.
Yeah,
Take your life forever ever. It's no
there's
longer
no coming. There's no coming back from that.
there's no coming back. And the fact that the innocence is what always suffers from this.
Yes.
Just here in New York alone, in Times Square, a 15-year-old opened fire in Times Square, and then in the Bronx, you had a 14-year-old, a 16-year-old, and I believe a 17-year-old who got into a scuffle on a train in gunfire. I just don't know what's going on with
I
with
saw
the
that one.
youth. I just don't understand it. I don't get it.
Well,
This
they've
is this
been.
is tragic because of the venue, but just in general, opening fire around like it's almost like there's no perception of innocence in their minds. I
Yeah.
gotta end you right now. Forget the venue. I gotta end you.
Well, I think honestly, I think it's several things. First off, they've been desensitized to think that human life is not
Right.
worth as much as it is. They don't have that drilled into their head that there's no coming back from that. You take somebody's life, that's it. You know, it's not like getting your ass whooped. You know, you go home, you lick your wounds or whatever, and you fight another day.
Right.
You know, that it seems like that mentality is gone. You know, it seems like the people willing to knuckle up, you know,
Right.
with our generation was kind of the last generation because we started seeing the gun violence, you know,
Yeah.
within our generation, and people started, you know, I call them cowards because if you want to fight, let's fight. But if you want to start some shit and then pull a gun and shoot me, like that's the most coward shit you can ever do.
Right.
So, you know, it's just it's one of those things, man. This one just hurt because the city, you know, Kansas City and the Chiefs Nation deserve to be able to celebrate this together
Right.
as a community, as a city, as a team. And, you know, I'm sure people came from all over to go to that parade, just like we were going to do if the Lions won. We were going to go home,
Right.
you know. So it's just really disheartening that those folks didn't get to do that, and that day and probably the Super Bowl title will forever be
It's stained.
it's
It's stained.
it's stained from this event, and it's just really unfortunate. You know, I hope that the team and the city is able to, you know, kind of put it in its place and still celebrate the victory for the team. But I know that's going to be really hard to do. You know, lose.
It's gonna have an asterisk next to it.
Yeah,
As
they
long as
lost a mother. You know, she was a
no.
DJ in the
Yeah.
community. People loved her.
Local
Like,
legend, man.
yep, and her kids were shot as well.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
It's tragic. It's really tragic. The only, and it's there is no silver lining to this. Taylor Swift once again steps in. You know, she donated 100,000 to
Did
that
she?
fallen, yeah, to
I
that
didn't
fallen
know
boy.
that.
And it's tragic as fuck because I'm sure that money means nothing to somebody who wants their mom.
Oh yeah,
That's
you know,
true. You know, just like that's it's just tragic.
it's you know, I mean, that kind of goes along with, you know, when these judgments come out, you know, and they're like, oh well, they got, you know, $10 million because so and so was killed. It's like money doesn't change that.
It does
Money
not.
doesn't heal that wound. You know, and even, you know, I know it's different, but I got money from my dad when he passed away, and I always felt like that was blood money. Like
Mm,
I didn't want it. I tried to find ways to spend it, and it just always, for me, as weird as it is, it just every time I'd open the bank account, for me it was like a number that shouldn't be there because it should be my dad instead.
yeah, yeah,
It's just really weird how you correlate those two things. But
yeah, tragic.
yeah, it's yeah, I don't know, man. This one hit hard just because I what's the way that somebody explained it? Again, I'm going to use sports. So in NASCAR, if you follow NASCAR, then Dale Earnhardt when he passed away, and Michael Waltrip won that day, and he was racing for Dale Earnhardt for his team, and he was did a documentary not long ago that I watched, and he was talking about, he goes, you know, we all experience the really highs, you know, the really high highs and the really low lows in our lifetime. You know, it just happens. It's life. He goes, but not many of us experience one of the highest highs in our life and the lowest low of our life within a span of 2 hours. And the way he explained that, it was just kind of like, whoa.
Yeah,
Like, and this is kind of the same thing. These people were like the highest of highs. You know, we just won the Super Bowl. You know, we're all coming to celebrate together. You
absolutely.
know, people are bringing their families, their kids, you know, people calling out of work, you know, whatever, keeping their kids home from school so that they can go and celebrate this.
Right.
And this is what happens. So they went from this really high high to what will be the most tragic event in these people's lives.
And here's the thing. Um, I always hear about the good guy with the gun. Well, there was 800 at this event.
Not only that, but the good guy
No, I'm
didn't
saying
need a gun.
police officers.
Oh,
And the
yeah,
ones who
yeah.
stopped the thing from happening were people who were just there and they
Yep.
tackled them and they got him to the ground. There
Yep.
was no gun to defeat this. So I don't care because automatically, the conservative friends are, I should say, colleagues. They are, spinning it. And like you said, just the misinformation, which spreads like wildfire. And it's
Oh,
just red meat for them, you know. Oh,
absolutely.
well, we Biden's ruining our border. Well, actually, if you guys would have stopped this border issue, because it was right there to be voted on, you know. So it's just politics, and I don't have it in me.
You just don't have it in you to do it, or
I don't have it in me to argue with ignorance, because it's
mm,
willful ignorance at this moment in time. You know,
yes,
you really want to see somebody like Johnson um, say that, oh well, we can't fund this because we need to protect our border, but you just denied a border. Like, the bill was there, written by a conservative, the most
yeah,
conservative bill you were going to get from Democrats. This was a win for you, but
hmm
they thought it was a win for Biden, so therefore they had to strike it down because kiss the ring over there. Don Teflon Els is telling them what he needs to do.
Teflon L.
You know what I mean? My man is definitely not made out of rubber. He's made out of glue, and all that shit is sticking. So
Well,
that's where it's going. But
speaking of speaking of L's, and I'm just gonna. Do you got anything else to add to this
no,
before I move on?
it's just so tragic. But
It is tragic,
our
but
love goes
again,
out to them, and it's just not the way you want to see it end.
no, not at
First and
all.
foremost,
And like I said,
because
just
they earned that win, like the Chiefs
oh,
earned.
that was yeah,
They played
that
their
was a
ass
tough
off,
win. Yeah,
and
that
I
was
give them that. They played that. They played,
yeah, it was a good
and
game.
that's tragic because that's always going to be the asterisk at this win for them.
I shouldn't say it was a good game. It was a good fourth quarter. The first half really sucked. It was good defensive game if that's your thing, but
You were only there for Usher. Don't worry about it.
no, don't get me started on that because I don't think my opinion is very popular.
Let it burn.
Yeah, let it burn, baby. Alicia Keys looked phenomenal though. That dress being like halfway across
First and
the.
foremost, she came out looking like Spawn. All right, I was like, is that cape alive? What is going on?
You
I
did
said,
not
oh
just say
shit.
Spawn. You did
She
not
straight
just
up,
say Spawn.
she came up with that cape just everywhere, boy, just there, just doing. Go watch Spawn if you don't know what I'm talking
No, I
about,
know
and then go
exactly what.
rewatch her intro. Tell me that's not.
Ignorance is giving them too much credit. It's apathy.
Yo, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. But I want to move. So again, I just want to point out they're not illegal immigrants. They're juveniles. So let's wait and see what other information comes out.
Don't be in a
Um,
close to
yeah,
anything.
exactly. Don't be in a hurry. We all know what happened. Let's wait and see. What information comes out. How they're going to charge these kids
Yeah.
and all that. So with that said, and I'm not going to say Trump took the L. I'm going to say the Republican Party, mainly the MAGA extremists, took the L. And what happened was the FBI informant who came forward and said that Hunter and Joe Biden were running this epic crime family. Turns out he was lying. He's full of shit. What do you think about that?
Man, I don't need to think anything. We already knew what the situation was.
Yeah.
It was a whole bunch of smoke, and when we were like, okay, well, where's the fire? We saw that they were fanning the flame. They were creating it
Yes.
themselves. It was nothing. It was nothing.
Yep.
It was nothing. There's a lot of nothing burgers. Comer, was it last year? He had a conference and he told us the quiet part out loud. He said that
Yeah.
they're pretty much trying to put on the books an impeachment of Joe Biden.
Yep.
Red meat for their base. There
Yep.
was nothing there that actually stood out that was anything. Everything that they talked about is happening in 2017. Well, what was happening in 2017? Joe Biden was a private citizen. He could do what the fuck he wants.
Yep. He can do speaking engagements for
He could do
$400,000 an
whatever.
hour if he wants.
What, he could get paid $1 billion from China for speaking to them. It means nothing. He was a private citizen. So
Yep.
Burisma, this, that, and the third. And now look at you. You got caught in the trap.
Yep. Absolutely. And I just want to say, so the FBI informant was charged with lying to his handler about ties between President Joe Biden and his son Hunter and a Ukrainian energy company. Alexander Smirnov falsely told FBI agents in June 2020 that executives associated with the Ukrainian energy company Burisma paid Hunter and Joe Biden $5 million each in 2015 and 2016, prosecutors said Thursday. Turns out he was full of shit, though, people. I mean, so let's just break this down for anybody who needs it.
So wow.
This means that pretty much all of the bullshit that we saw in Congress, why can't I think of the freaking name? Congressional panels or testimony or whatever you want to call it, all that partisan bullshit was based on a lie.
Yeah.
It was all based on a lie. So all that time, all those resources, all the people they called that had to show up, and God
Yeah.
knows what they had to do to show up, and it was all for nothing, and they fucking knew it. That's the part that pisses me off. They
Oh,
knew this was bullshit.
this is the part where Biden, being Hunter, called it out and said, "I'm not sitting in a closed door with you guys because it's just all bullshit. All this is
Yeah.
bullshit."
And you're just going to lie, and you're going to use that closed door, thing to further
Spin
your
how you want.
agenda.
You know
Yep.
what I mean? And then it's now in the machine that to your liking.
Yep.
It's quite telling to see because they have nothing to offer.
No. And I just want to say, if he gets convicted, if this dude Smirnov gets convicted, he's looking at 25 years.
Well, I wonder
25 years.
how he's singing right now, so he doesn't get those 25 years. What is he telling them? Who put him up to this?
Oh yeah, somebody's sweating.
You know what I'm saying?
Somebody's sweating somewhere. Yeah.
Because you ain't just going out there on his own like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. No,
Mm-mm.
who put him up to it?
Yep. No,
Songbirds
absolutely.
sing, baby. Songbirds sing.
Telling you, ain't that the
So we'll
freaking
see.
truth? I just, for me, not just as a liberal or a Democrat, but just as an American citizen, that really pisses me off. Because while you, not on top of the Republicans not being able to legislate worth a damn, they're also wasting our taxpayer dollars on this shit. While,
Completely.
while pointing their finger at the liberals and Democrats saying you waste money.
Yeah.
It's this blank government check you guys got to stop. Bitch, it's
It's
you guys.
it's literally anytime I hear any of these conferences from this side of the aisle, all I can think of is how it's projection, it's mirroring, and it's literally just them trying to point fingers where they're telling on themselves. So
Yeah,
everything they say, you're like, well, that's exactly what you're doing, and it's like, wait a minute, but they're great at messaging. They
they are.
lean into their ignorance. They lean into it. It's their
Well,
super.
the people that are running the show, the running the circus, they know exactly who their people are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know exactly what they're doing, and it's yeah, like you said, I think it's kind of scary how many people fall for it.
Oh,
How many people fall for the con.
Ryan, they're already talking about. Well, this is Biden's DOJ, so they're. Of course, he's gonna flip. I wonder how much they paid him to flip.
You mean the
You're
same
like,
DOJ that went after his son?
yep, same DOJ that just called him old and senile. Like,
What sense does that make? That's what I'm saying. Their ability to dismiss shit and then
well,
look at.
it's the fringe. It's the fringe, but it's always the fringe is always the loudest, right? And we could say the same thing about the left right now. It's the fringe. And
We're gonna see how fringe this really is when the election goes down.
100%.
Because if this fucker still gets 74 million or something votes, Donald Trump, I will.
I'm
I'll
gonna
lose
have,
my fucking mind.
I'm not gonna lose my. I'm gonna have some coarse words for some folks though, because I'm sorry when you're taking L's where you are now on record of sexually assaulting somebody. Judge straight up puts it on the record, says no, let's not get it twisted. This is a rape case, and you are found guilty of rape. Like that is verbatim from a judge. I don't need to hear. Oh well, that's a liberal judge. Go fuck yourself.
Yep.
I'm
Nope.
not. I'm not. Nope. They went through the same type of education. They look at the law. They've done their work. You're not going to minimize or denounce them in any way, shape, or form because of how they lean or what how they see the world
Yep.
at all. They are in a position where they make judgment,
Yep.
and the way that they saw that case, they put it on the table. Keep in mind, Bill Barr even has turned on Trump.
Yeah.
So people who are in the law have turned on this man, and they're like, "No, this is idiotic.
Yeah.
This is illegal. And you will face consequences."
Bill-
So what? Oh, now he's a rhino. Fuck off. You're not pushing the field goal anywhere.
Yeah.
Fact that this man owes as much as he's already now, the $5 million for that rape case,
Half a
that
billion.
he-
Half a billion.
half of the. Do I really want a president who owes that much fucking money?
Well, and let me approach this from a different standpoint too. Is I'm going to look at it from, for those of you who don't know, I had a military security clearance for most of my adult life until I retired. So I've had to go through three security clearance background checks. These are not like, hey, let me look you up on the internet and see if you've ever been arrested. These are background checks that, like, they know what your family has. They know what your family does. If your family's been arrested for things, you have to answer for that. So the just the fact that he owes this 350 million plus another 88.3 million plus what other judgments he's got coming down the pipeline, that fact alone would mean that he can't get a security clearance. They wouldn't give it to him.
Right.
So that,
And he was
knowing
trying to be
that,
like secretary,
for,
administrative
yeah, for anything,
in the
like,
government.
yeah, if you handle classified information and you have a government job or you are in the military, you have to have a security clearance. It may be a confidential, it may be a secret, it may be a top secret, but you have to have a clear some type of clearance to see that you've been vetted to handle that information. But you're telling me that the president of the United States doesn't have to follow those same standards? That's insane. So I'm telling you that this judgment today alone would rule him out of any public election.
Right.
But because we don't have those kind of laws apparently for elections, this dude can literally keep running
Well, what's
and
interesting is that
keep raising money.
what's interesting is that he cannot, if he's convicted of a federal offense, he cannot vote in Florida, but he could be president.
But he can be on their ticket.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
make that make sense.
So it's one of those things. And DeSantis for that fucking dumpster fire of a campaign. He tried to play that stunt where he
Did
spent
you see that he's walking back the book ban now?
You gotta let me. You gotta update me on this.
I'm gonna
You gotta update me on
look
this.
at while you're talking.
Well, what's interesting about it is that he played that stunt where he spent a couple million taxpayer dollars to arrest all the fraud, and the fraud was not real. Out of 22 people, 20 of them were released. They were like, "No, this is bullshit," and their cases got thrown out. And it's like you spent all that money to literally parade this fake narrative that the election was rigged and there was fraud everywhere and everything. It's just it baffles the mind where they could have spent that millions of dollars out of actually helping out their constituents, plain and simple.
Absolutely. And just real quick, our moderator in charge is here. So apparently it's Kalen's son's birthday, so we just want to wish him
Happy
happy
birthday!
birthday. Hopefully,
Yo!
hopefully he was spoiled and is enjoying his cake. So
You
yeah,
guys, thank you for joining us. We don't really have
yes,
a name for the show right now, but I will say this: I would like there to be a friendly competition to come up with a name for the show
Hmm,
of what we're building right now, and let's lean on you viewers to tell us
I
what do you
like it.
think the show's name should be.
I like it.
Reach out to us, hit subscribe, check us out.
So this is where I saw it. It was on Midas Touch by Ron Filipkowski. DeSantis walks back Florida book ban statute. He wants champion Ron DeSantis culture war. Book banning statute has resulted in chaos, confusion, and anger as Florida has banned the highest number of books in the country from schools and public libraries. Florida teachers and libraries face felony charges and up to 5 years in prison for carrying unauthorized books. Are you like seriously?
Yo, man, they locking up Scholastic? Seriously? That's what's happening right now?
DeSantis acts shocked that his vague and punitive censorship laws have resulted in exactly the type of chaos and excessive book banning in Florida public schools that we all predicted would happen.
Bro, you know who else book bans? Nazis.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're doing anything that the Nazis have done, I don't think you're on the right side of history. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
Just sorry. That's just a starting point.
I know. And so here's what I find interesting. People are like, "Oh, alternative history from this panel." What is alternative about anything that we're saying?
Someone get Conway and throw her off the bridge. Okay, that's the alternative facts. She is coined for alternative facts, and the fact that she literally had a stroke live on TV and just said that, blurted it out.
Yeah.
They're like, get out of here, and it was coined. It was coined from that moment on.
So, what was I about to say? Oh, sorry. So, speaking of facts, let's talk about another fact, and that would be that Putin's critic, Alexei Navalny, died in prison. It was announced that he died in prison today.
47 years old.
47 years old. Um, yeah, what do you think?
A, we all knew this was going to happen. It took a lot longer than anticipated. He should never have gone back to Russia. I understood where he stood. He is a martyr now. And I do have a feeling that his death is going to be almost a rally cry for the rest of the world because of what he stood for. The fact that this man was poisoned numerous times and he was recovering in Germany and then flew back to Russia to defy Putin and was immediately locked up the moment he landed. You knew that he was literally going back to his motherland to die. They ghosted him. He literally disappeared for a moment. This was a couple months ago.
Yep.
I've been following his situation. His lawyers have been locked up, who were releasing his messages, and some of them have fled Russia itself as well. But everything about this is clouded. Oh, he went for a walk and then he fell over and he died. It's like went for a walk. Like okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So, he was the biggest thorn in Putin's. You know what I mean, and and he had a major following. He really was speaking to the people about what their options were, and when you realize the level of misinformation, and that Russia really is becoming that between that and China are becoming the leads of those bots that are posting this type of warfare that we're looking at, this new proxy of war that is being implemented into our generation of technology, where you really can't believe what you see anymore.
No.
It's not only this. I think Putin really is feeling himself right now. The war is going well for him in Ukraine. We're sitting here bickering and not fighting for democracy for a country that wants to be an ally, that wants to be NATO. We're making that political for no reason, but for the simple fact of we just don't want to give wins. We know the Republican Party likes to take an L, so apparently they want to see America take an L, and it's quite telling because one Republican senator put out there in a rush a debrief of Russia putting out nukes in space. That this is something that is really kind of becoming a reality. Even though it's always been in the forefront, it's always kind of been there, foreshadowing that this would take place. It's more of a reality than we want to admit, and that's an attack on. If you think about it, if you blow up any satellite, you're wiping out any country's infrastructure of sharing information.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on with Russia right now, and also your boy Elon. Elon is being found guilty of sharing his satellite transmitter of communication. It's called Starlight?
Starlink, I think.
Starlink. And so he's been found to be selling it to the Russians to use on Ukraine. And it's, I just don't think Elon's the right person, man. I think there's something off about that.
Well, I've been saying it on my Twitter. Well, we just talked about on our last show that he was funding extremist right-wing accounts through his ad sharing program.
Yeah.
So you add that with this information, and it's become clear to me that Elon Musk is a direct threat to America's national security. Yeah. And that's not. I don't think that's hyperbole. I don't think that's exaggerating. I think it's a very valid comment, and it should be concerning anybody that's paying attention. Honestly, he's pushing out the white replacement theory on a daily basis.
Right.
He's fear mongering that all these illegals are going to be coming in and voting for Joe Biden, which isn't fucking possible. It's just.
Which is interesting when you hear those talking points. You know exactly where it's coming from. Like when I hear that, I go, "Oh, okay." You get your news from Twitter, which is hilarious to me, Ryan. That everybody still just calls it Twitter, and they're like Twitter, X, but Twitter, and it's like
even in the news they say Twitter/X, Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter. I always think of Prince when I read that. I'm
Yes.
just like, like I said, the fact that this guy spent $44 billion on a branded social media platform and within 6 months completely destroyed the brand is something I will never understand.
Oh, there's gonna be courses on this in college.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely. What
sure.
not to fucking do, or how it'll be titled "How to Lose Billions of Dollars." How to effectively
The course is
become
called Burning Billions. That's what it's called,
how
man.
to you know how you in Elon's case, it's like how do you make a small fortune in the social media industry? Start with a large one,
Start with start with the
because
large.
this fucker is going to go from billionaire to millionaire if he keeps messing around.
Buy green, sell red. That's what Elon's
And he
all about.
just went and he complained and he went and what he reincorporated his was it reincorporated his account reincorporated his business in Texas. So he moved it from Delaware to Texas after they took his 55 billion from him.
Okay.
Interesting, huh?
Okay.
So, but just real quick, I just want to give my few thoughts on this.
Yes.
This is troubling. Of course, there will be conspiracy theories surrounding this for decades of what really happened. But the one thing I think I want to drive home with this is we aren't far from this.
No.
I hope people realize that if people like Donald Trump get in power here in the United States, we aren't far from political opposition being imprisoned and then possibly murdered
Yeah.
just 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 based off of their political affiliation and opinions.
I mean, he literally had the guardrails on for his first term, and there's nothing holding him back from having any guardrails on this term
Yep.
if he wins. And it's quite interesting because it really does come down to the opposition. A young man who's trying to bring hope to his nation,
Yeah.
and that being a threat, and watching how Trump idolizes Putin, idolizes.
I think you're right though. I think that this will at a minimum it will be a rallying cry within Russia
I feel like this
at a
is
minimum.
when you think about a martyr, and you think about the hope that is built from that, you quickly realize that this man was made of way bigger than just flesh and blood. You know,
Hmm.
he is the idea, and you can't wipe that out. And the thing that I find interesting is that to see Putin attacking Ukraine and killing tons of civilians,
Yeah.
and I don't mean civilians that are being used as a shield in other wars that are happening. I
These are
mean
just civilians.
civilians who have nothing to do with the battlefield, and you just are blowing them up.
Yeah.
And you sit there and you go, "Oh, something's going to shift," and this almost feels like that. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, we could be, but I think
But there's something there that feels like this is the break.
if I
Do you
feel
know what I
like
mean?
if anything is going to be a shift, I think that this would be it. I really do think that if something's going to shift, it's going to be this that pushes it over the edge, that pushes these folks over the edge, and they go, we got to do something.
Because this now shows you this is how he gets rid of anything
I
that
think
he
that's
feels.
pretty evident. I mean, we all joke about it, but there's it's like that old
But this is
saying:
now
with every
there.
joke, there's some truth behind it. We all
Right.
joke about it because we know.
But this is now there. Like there's no walking away from this.
No,
Everybody
I don't
knew,
think so.
and maybe that was the reality. This man went there to show that he was going to die facing this man on his own 2 feet. And not
Not
many men would do that. Not many people I know. Donald Trump wouldn't do that shit. Donald Trump would run like a motherfucker. Are you serious?
yeah, Donald Trump.
Bitch is running right now.
It yeah. There's no comparison between those two type of individuals for sure.
No.
No.
He's a coward.
Yep. So speaking of interesting things, I would say speaking of cowards, I'll say it.
Transitions.
Yeah, transitions, baby. The House. So last week we kind of made fun of the party or the Republican Party for bringing a vote to the floor and not being able to get it done regarding Secretary of Homeland Security Mayorkas. But they did manage to get it done the second time around.
How many?
By one vote. It was, if I remember correctly, it was
Philly.
214 to 213.
That's correct. Philly's
So,
came back from his radiation therapy.
yep. So it's just ring. Can you hear it through my window? Sorry. Um, but no, so the House did impeach Secretary of Homeland Security Mayorkas. So yeah,
Guess what
then
happens next?
nothing. Freaking
Nothing.
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 And by the way, all of you Republicans out there, I'm gonna give a shout out to Graham Allen because he's a particular douche. Um, I love the post that you put out that he's going to be removed because it just shows how fucking ignorant you are. That
How
this
little?
is how little you know that
Yeah.
this is going to do nothing. The Senate is going to look at these people and laugh as they should
Yeah.
because you want to talk about partisan political bullshit. Like, wow.
Like
Like,
this was a waste of everybody's time.
oh, it was a huge waste. Huge
You
waste of
you
time, huge
embarrassed
waste of
yourself.
resources.
You embarrassed yourself the first round.
Yep.
Embarrassed yourself, and then you get it done by one vote. And then what's going to happen? It's going to go to the Senate where they're going to say, "Nope, we don't see any reason to impeach,"
Yeah.
and then that's it.
I mean, just like the Republicans did with Donald Trump. When the House impeached
Don't
Donald
put him in the
Trump,
same
not
boat.
once,
Don't
but
put him in the
twice.
same.
No, fuck that, because
I'm
that's
saying
what
that
should
it-
have happened. They want to bitch, moan, and complain because they're going to complain that see, we did our job and the Senate didn't impeach
No, but
Mayorkas,
there was
but you bitches not once but twice didn't do your job and impeach or convict Donald Trump after he was impeached, because if you had done your freaking job, then we wouldn't even have to worry about this dude running again in 2024 and grifting off of everybody. But no, you guys didn't do your job. And now you want us to impeach this man when you didn't want to impeach a dude that literally tried to overthrow the government?
Yeah.
How about kiss my ass? How about that? I'm good. I'm good now.
I was hoping you would take a sip after that.
No, I'm good now.
I just wanted you to. Yep.
It's just I'm so frustrated with this because it
I
doesn't
see-
make sense.
I see your point when you're saying that I'm attacking it from the context of we're just throwing around impeachments like it's nothing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like when it actually was being done, which keep in mind, Donald Trump is the only person who's ever been impeached twice.
Yes.
Twice. And and that asterisk is going to be there for the rest of his life. And that's why they're trying so hard. That's why they're trying
no
to Biden. That's why they're trying so hard.
Yeah.
Because they want that.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, they know they don't really have anything. Uh-oh. We lost Ian. I have a feeling he got a phone call. So there we go. I'm about to say I'm going to start tap dancing on my own here.
Man, you about to do it.
Did you get a phone call?
You already know.
Okay.
But here's what's wild. My phone is on Do Not Disturb. I put it on Do Not Disturb.
That's so weird.
Still
I know. Mine did it last time too.
Technology is not my friend today. I'm telling you right now. Lost in space.
So, on top of that, let's talk about another interesting. I honestly can't. So Donald Trump has opted not to take his case to the Supreme Court.
This is going to be interesting.
What do you think?
He's trying to play chess. He's trying to play chess. This is going to be interesting.
What do you think?
I'm going to let you go first.
Let's see. What do I think? I think it shows that he knows he's guilty as fuck. I think he's realizing that with all of these judgments that he has coming down his pipeline, that he can't afford to pay anybody to take his case to the Supreme Court. And he can't afford to pay anybody to take it to the Supreme Court knowing that he's going to lose. And I think his legal team has probably told him that it is much better for him to stay where he's at, try to argue. They can still use that argument if they want, but it's not going to work. They're not going to have it to the Supreme Court. And what his legal team's probably telling him is, if you get this judgment in the Supreme Court, you're done. You're done. If Donald Trump got a judgment against him by the Supreme Court before the 2024 election, he'd be done. That'd be it.
I agree with you on most of that. For some reason, you think that he thinks more than uh, past a narcissist can.
Fair.
He is. It's his only argument.
Yeah.
His only argument is that he has immunity,
Yep.
and that's what his only argument has been up until this point. So he does not want to lose that card,
No.
and he knows that if he took it to the Supreme Court, he would lose that card because it's quite interesting to see how Jack Smith is handling this.
Mm-hmm.
And he tried to do this months ago. He tried to say, you know what, let's just skip all this bullshit, bring it right to the Supreme Court, make the
Yep.
call.
Yep.
Make the call. And they went, no, we think that you should really go through the court system and then, do the proper snail pace for this history in the making. And it's like,
Yep.
no. They should have really expedited all of this and put everything on the table and said, okay, we've never done this in America before, so we need the Supreme Court to have as much ruling on these things as possible, so we
Yeah.
all have at least a firm ground of what we're getting into.
Well, I love that you said that because I think we as America need to set this precedent.
Yeah.
Clearly, we need a legal precedent set for a rogue individual, obtaining the presidency and literally trying to overthrow the government, become a dictator-like individual.
Claim dictatorship for 4 years.
Yeah.
I could be a dictator for 4 years and counting because I'm
Yeah. He ain't gonna leave. You ain't gonna get rid of him.
bro.
And then he's gonna give it to his kids. We'll have coke addict Donald Trump Jr. as VP.
Blow Junior.
Fuck, you already know, bro. So I do think it's interesting. I think I think it kind of tells the tale a little bit of what's going on behind closed doors in his legal fights. He's having to pick and choose his battles. He doesn't have the resources.
I don't. Well, his tactic is two main things: immunity, which we all know,
Yeah.
and then delay.
Yep.
So him actually going through this, because here's going to be the question now, and I do agree with a majority of the things you said, but the real question will be: he opted out now. Can he opt back in later to create this delay once again?
Ooh, good question. That's a good legal
Because
question.
if he is going to opt out right now, and then they're going to go through, and then he's going to say, "Well, I have ultimate immunity," is that going to pause Judge Chutkin's January 20th case, and then now it gets prolonged into before November?
Well, I mean, what it says in the article is that this means that all his cases can proceed. So that's a
Right.
good legal question. I don't know if he'll be able to, dip
Does
back.
double dip? Is it?
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be able to,
Okay.
double dip on that or not. If he'll be
Right.
able to be like, oh, now I'm gonna. Yeah, that's a good legal question. I don't know.
But that's something that we should find out. I mean, I think that most of the legal minds, or anybody who's in the chat, if you guys want to chime in and let us know,
Yeah, because I definitely don't know that.
be very happy to hear what you guys are thinking on that one.
But that's good. I mean, that's good. That's a good question. But like I said, from what I'm reading, all of his cases related to January 6th can now move forward. So,
Which, if she didn't cancel it, or she can open it right back up, that means it would be starting in March. But he's going to be what is he with Stormy Daniels in March?
Stormy Dan. Oh, for the case?
For the hush money.
Oh,
That's
I don't know.
That's
Is it
starting.
really?
Yes.
I forgot about that one.
And that also too is illegal. It's like- this is what's so embarrassing about this.
Dude, that's the key word, embarrassing. Freaking embarrassing. Like seriously, dude, we've got a guy who lost a case today. Well, was fined $350 million and told that he can't do business in New York for 3 years. So these people are literally going to go out and vote for a guy who owes $500 million in rape cases. Well, yeah, rape cases and business cases like this. This is freaking insane. Like $500 million. Yeah, no big deal. Oh, you're a criminal? We don't care. Oh, you've admitted you're a sexual predator? Yeah, and we'll vote for you. Like, and then you want to point the finger at Biden? Like, you people are there's no comparison. There's no comparison between these two individuals. Like the fact that they were both born in the 40s, maybe, or the 30s, or whatever the hell it was. Maybe that's it.
All I have to say to you is put on your calendar, March 25th, his trial begins for the hush money case, paying Stormy Daniels, which we all forgot about him with the
So
porn
she could.
star.
So what? He could end up owing her more money.
This is the case where he made this is what got his lawyer at the time, Michael Cohen, was that his last name?
His old lawyer. Yeah.
Old lawyer who turned on him now. This is the case that sent him to jail. This is that,
Oh. Okay.
so this was him paying money to burn stories so he could run for president in 2016.
Yep.
For the so that was during 2015 that this was all happening. He was paying hush money to keep things quiet. Michael Cohen got caught because he was collecting receipts and wasn't even getting paid all in full, mind you.
Oh, and somebody said, in the comments, Tabby said it's a criminal trial too, so he could actually go to jail for that one. It's not just a civil.
Oh no, this is criminal. This is criminal.
Ooh boy.
Yeah, March, and the judge looked at him dead in the face because he's trying this whole again tactic of, well, I'm busy, this is prime presidential campaigning, and the judge looked at him and it just says,
So
you will be in court on the 25th, and the reason why is this is a criminal case. Criminals don't get to tell us what their schedule is. You don't get to say, well, I have to go to work. No. You will be in court. So he will be in court. He will be in court for this.
I think the American people deserve for all these cases to be finished, and judgments done before the voting happens. Like it's insane
and
that
they're literally trying to argue in court that this is going to be election interference, having these cases, because
it's called accountability, bitch.
It's absolutely accountability. But this is, and what I love about Jack Smith is that he's taking their argument and saying on the flip, well, this is election interference. He's not allowing the people to know who he is.
Yep. Exactly.
And you're like, yo, like it's ridiculous right now to see how this is being played out.
If he came out, if he really wanted to win people over, there's several things he could do, but one of the biggest ones, release your tax returns.
Make his tax returns
willingly release your tax returns and let us see how good of a businessman you are. Let us see all the donations you make. Let us see it all. Yeah. If you're this great person and this amazing businessman who gives all this money, let us fucking see. Because you can prove it. And more importantly, you can go right now and you can go look and see what Joe Biden and Jill Biden have given every year. You can go right now and pull up and see what Kamala Harris and her husband have given every year. You can do it because they've given their tax returns, and let the American people see. But that's something that Donald Trump will never do, because you want to know what his tax returns will show the American people? That he's full of shit, that he isn't a good businessman, that he writes off more losses than he has gains, and he's been doing it since freaking the 80s. He's probably still carrying shit over from 1996. Like, this dude is a criminal. He's a con man.
He's a con artist.
Everything. Really? And I love what this person said, Tabby again. So he is going to be a financial target, compromised to the hilt. Again, going back to security clearances.
Yeah.
If you owe too much in credit card debt, you could lose your clearance.
Yeah.
This dude is beyond a liability. He's
begging for donations. Like that's what's paying for this whole Ponzi scheme.
Again, I would not be surprised if they found out that Putin's been sending them money to keep him afloat. I really wouldn't.
Be surprised?
I mean, I'm saying proof though. Like proof. I don't know if we have proof.
The brilliance of Donald Trump is that he does all his crime out in public,
out in the open, and
that's
gets away with it.
That's the brilliance. Because then he argues, if it was a crime, why would I say it out loud? And it's like,
because you're going to get away with it. That's why.
Well, so it's privilege talking.
But I'm not so sure he's going to keep getting away with it. And why I say that is because Fonnie Willis was not having this bullshit at all. And I just want to play this quick little clip because there's been a lot of good ones, but this one I think was my favorite so far.
getting Delta records for flights that you may have taken with Mr. Wade.
Well, no, look. I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive into people's personal lives. You're confused. You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
So my question.
She said what she said.
As much as I go off on the right, I have to go off on her.
Oh, okay.
This is messy.
Okay.
And if you're going for the king, you best not miss. And the thing
I don't think she has missed though. And I think
look at how messy we're talking about her. She's in the seat right now, my man.
but
She should
they
never
make
be in this position.
yeah, but they make everything messy. They're purposely making it messy.
Brian, this is my point. Knowing that they make everything messy, you got to be clean, man. You can't give them an inch. Where is Jack?
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that.
Where is Jack Smith making a mess? Because they're trying with him, and they can't find a goddamn thing on this guy.
Right.
Nothing. And I'm just like, okay, like, does he like, sorry, Jack, does he like assassinate puppies? Like, what is his thing? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, this guy's too clean. What is he doing? You know what I mean?
Assassinate puppies.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, but when you sit here and PETA, please don't come after me. It's just
we're not.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
Innocent joke.
Huge dog lovers over here.
Love. You should see mine.
Yeah, he's got a cute little dog.
But the thing is with Fonnie Willis is, and I'm not even talking about office romance, whatever the case is. But you taking trips to Aruba, you doing all these things, and it's just like you're muddying the waters. And right now, you should be batting 1,000, and you should be literally taking this man out because you with the racketeering, the RICO case, like absolutely brilliant. And you're already flipping heads. You're already flipping people. Mm-hmm. Brilliant. And this one co-defendant's lawyer is known for kicking over rocks and seeing what's under there. And she struck gold with this, and now it's just, look, man, Black in America, you already got 2 strikes against you.
No, go ahead.
I'm just saying, Black in America, you already got 2 strikes against you. You're giving them something. And the thing that's really interesting here is that they're going to run with this, and they're going to run it into the ground. Now, I don't know how this kind of plays out, because she is right. I did nothing wrong. I paid this person back. I did this. I did that. We don't have receipts. Well, you don't have receipts. So what are we doing here? Yeah. You don't have anything that's nailing me to the cross on this. That's just your assumptions.
And I think that's why, my view is a little different, because they don't have anything. They really don't. And listening to the questions, like they've got her dad sitting on the stand explaining how he had 3 safes in his house, that he always, taught his kids to have money. My dad taught me to always have money in the house. Like that's not some uncommon thing that parents teach their kids. Right. You always have money on you. If you go out on a date, you have money to pay for yourself. That's what dads teach their daughters. Like always be able to take care of yourself, always be able to pay your way, because you don't depend on a dude, especially if you're out on a date or, whatever. Like the fact that she has to sit up on a stand and her father has to sit up on a stand and explain this shit, it just shows you that they're just throwing darts at it, like you said. And again, I'm not disagreeing with you. It's just, I like you said, I don't think it's fair. And I think because she's a Black woman, that makes me feel like I have to be one of the people to say something, just because it isn't fair. And if you're going to excuse all of the shit that you excuse with Donald Trump, and then you're going to try to, hold her accountable for this,
which is exactly my point. There's already 2 strikes against you, and you're giving them something.
But I'm talking about their side though. I'm talking about their side. Like you're defending Donald Trump, and you're trying to go after this woman.
Yes.
Like get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
That's a joke.
They're trying to get some W's, and they're not. They're not.
And that's what I said. At the end of the day, I don't think this is going to be a W for them. I really don't.
No, but keep this in mind, because we're talking about the Democratic Party, and I always lean back on Al Franken. Democrats always try to be the noble one, and they go, well, I'm going to recuse myself and step down because that's the righteous thing to do. And this is the part where I'm like, and I hope Miss Willis does not do it. I hope she comes off just the way that she was, combative, and just letting them know.
Yeah,
I'm not on trial. They are.
and
I
she
hope
didn't.
she
She
holds
didn't let
that.
up.
I hope she holds that. I really do.
And I hope she doesn't step down, because at the end of the day, here's my
But look at the party. They're the party that steps down.
well, fuck the party. It's why I left the party.
But
But
she didn't. Do you know what I mean?
she's but does her party affiliation in this really matter?
Whatever kind of pressure she may face in Atlanta, Georgia, I don't know. But
I
that
mean,
might,
I'm sure there's political pressure. I'm not, I'm
you know
not
what I'm
naive
saying?
to
That's
that,
the part
but
that's what I'm touching on. That's who I'm calling out.
I'm just
Because
saying I don't
they're
know if
gonna be
her
like,
being I don't know if her being a Democrat really, if she is. I don't even know if she is, but I
I'm
don't know.
saying Al Franken stepped down because he was asked to step down without any trial or anything that held him accountable that said he did something. That's the Democratic Party. They
But
stepped
okay,
down.
so let me ask you this though. But don't you think if her plan was to step down, that she would have done that before this?
We don't know what kind of pressure she's under right now. We don't know what higher ups or anybody that's in her corner who's telling her what.
No, but
I'm just saying this is now an extra layer that's on her, who's already had so much pressure on her from
Yeah.
the jump.
It's
Let
definitely
alone
it's
Democrats and everything.
it's self-induced to a degree, absolutely. But I don't think it warrants the level of scrutiny that it's getting, you know. And it does, and most importantly, everything that is
circus.
coming out in this, none of it negates
No,
what she's found and what Trump has done.
no,
None of it negates that.
But here we are talking about her private life.
Yeah, which is
That's
stupid.
what I find just to be like, why is this even being televised?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's all salacious. It's all now becoming.
It's like we're
talk-
watching. It's
talk
like we're
TV.
watching Suits in real time.
I'm waiting for Andy Cohen to come out and do the interview.
Oh Jesus!
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where we're at this point. This is what happens when you elect a reality failed TV star
Ain't that
to
the
the
truth?
presidency. He makes everything a failed reality TV show.
Speaking of failed reality TV, Mitt Romney came out and had a quick little statement.
You and these segments, the segues.
They're pretty good, right? I'm getting good. You like it?
I'll rock with you, man. I'll rock with you. Speaking of trash.
But no, Mitt Romney. I have my issues with Mitt Romney, but I will say that from January 6th on, he has been one of the few Republican representatives that I have at least been able to maintain some level of respect for.
You know why?
Because he at least calls a spade when it comes to freaking terrorism. That's one.
He's not running for re-election. That's right.
Oh, no, I don't, and I'm not going to
There's a
disagree with that.
Exodus. A huge
But-
exodus is happening.
But Romney's always kind of been one of those few people that
he's an old Republican. He's
he's
the
an old school.
grandfather.
He's one of those
Party.
Republicans that I can respect.
He's a good old boy.
Yes, but this was a clip that they got of him today. I believe it was from today.
Voting for former President Trump, I must admit that I find sexual assault to be a line I will not cross, and the people I select to be my president. But I also disagree with a number of the character issues that the president has demonstrated.
No lies detected.
No. What's interesting is that Mitch McConnell has said, "Oh well, if Trump is the nominee, then of course I'll vote for him." I'm just like, Mitch is just so spineless.
That's my thing. Like you watch videos of these clowns from January 6th, and they're all standing on the floor, talking to the American people, saying, "Oh, this is such a travesty, and we can't believe this," and blah blah blah. But yeah, you're turning around and you're supporting this clown.
No, Mitch played that game. He plays the long term. He knew what he was
They
setting
all
up.
played the game.
Well, he knew what he was doing, where he said he would not convict him of an impeachment. He knew how he was playing this out because he knew he had to face his base back in Kentucky, and they all want to have those points to go back home, which is why I give it to Mitt, where he's like, "I'm out, so I don't care anymore."
Yeah, and he's not the only one. There's been several.
There's an exodus.
There's been a lot of Republicans. There was another one that I think announced last night that he's done.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that, I think we'll go ahead and go into what was the positive that you had this week? What was something good that happened that you want to share with us?
Something good that happened for me. Um,
Or the
you know,
family?
well, I was gonna say is my big brother Rob's birthday is coming up.
Oh,
We're
Robbie.
we're figuring out big brother Rob how we're thinking maybe drag queen brunch. We don't know.
Oh, that would be cool.
We don't we're gonna figure it out. But he had to cancel his birthday plans this weekend because he's been working really hard. He's been working
Yeah.
so hard. He's an actor, as you know.
Yep.
But he's up for a number of different auditions that he's like, I have to get all this stuff done. So he's like, I got to cancel on brunch plans. But I'm like, okay, we're gonna get him out to a drag queen brunch and watch him steal the show. But we're gonna
Of
get him out.
course.
We're gonna get him out. We're gonna get him to have a good time. So that we're looking forward to that. We're in the birthday season for some of the siblings. So
Yep. Good.
that's a
Good.
big thing.
Yeah,
That's what
no.
I'm looking forward to.
Rob's awesome. He was our prom king.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was our prom king.
Yeah.
Remember that? Him and Meredith.
Yep.
Let's see. My positive is going to be really dorky, actually. I'm the president of our HOA, and we've been dealing with. We have a fountain when you come into the neighborhood, and it's just been leaking pretty much since we moved here, and it started deteriorating some of the cement behind it and all this stuff. So finally, after like 3 or 4 companies, we found somebody, and they came out today and redid all the cement and made it so it shouldn't leak anymore. It was built in 2002, and I don't think it's been touched since. So it definitely needed some rehab, and we finally got that done for the community. And it's just something good to get off my plate, really.
Hey man, getting things off the list are fantastic. That's not dorky.
Check it off the list, bro.
That's
And it was
That's
just
a great when you can do that.
yep.
That's everything.
And the nice thing too is I have we have a board, like every HOA, and but I have really good people on the board. So like I have this guy Greg who's like the head of our architecture division. I call it a division, something else, but committee is what they call it. So but he was out there overseeing stuff, taking pictures, sending it to the board in like a group text, like keeping us updated, and yeah, it was just
Play-by-play?
what's that?
The play-by-play.
Well, just keeping everybody updated. But yeah, it's we our HOA board seems to function better than most Fortune 500 companies, but
Oh, yeah. Or government.
or government. Yeah. So yeah, that was our positive. So I think this week, let's just end with I'm going to send my thoughts and prayers to the Kansas City community. I know that it's going to take a little bit to recover from this, and particularly the family that I believe was the Galvin family. So definitely sending thoughts to them after losing their mother and wife.
Yeah.
And then also, of course, still thinking about all the people in all these war zones too. There's still a lot of innocent people caught in these conflicts that, probably wish they could be somewhere else right now. So definitely still thinking about them too.
Really tough out there. I hope we find the courage to do what's right. I think we're morally bankrupt, and I don't think thoughts and prayers are going to fix this.
Ain't that the truth?
And I really hope that we find the courage to really pull together because we need to change. It's
Yep.
time. It's time. There's no more.
Something has to give. Not just here in America, but just I think in the world. Something needs to change. So with that said, thank you guys for tuning in this Friday. We love spending our Fridays with you. And as Ian put up the challenge, so anybody, if you have any
Name
yeah,
show.
we got to come up with a name for the show. Like we've been trying, and it's like we'll text each other and be like, "What about this?" Or "What about this?" And we'll be like, "Yeah, that's great." And then we'll go,
Google it.
"Oh, there's already 3 podcasts named that." Okay,
There it is.
it's always something. So, but yeah,
But it's
no,
just fun. It's about
Yep.
the journey. We're enjoying the journey.
you can put it in the comments under any of the shows, and we'll see them. And we will put the best, what do you say, the best 3 we get, we'll put up and put them up
Best
for a
3.
vote.
Oh, best 3.
Best three. So literally, guys, you guys get to pick our show name. So let's get it.
Like, subscribe,
Yes.
pick this mother name. Let's go.
Yes. So have a good weekend, and we will see you guys next Friday. I'll leave you as I always do with much love. Keep